Hey guys, it's Lexi Romano from Phoenix Finds. So most of the videos on my channel are about cool things to do in Phoenix, Arizona. But this video is going to be a little bit different. As you all know, I'm not originally from Phoenix. I'm originally from California. Then I moved to New York City. Then I moved to Phoenix. So I have family in Cali and in New York, and they ask me questions all the time about what it's like to live in Arizona. So today in this video, I'm going to answer the 5 most asked questions that I get from my friends and family on the East Coast and the West Coast. But before we get into those questions, make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel so that if you do move to Phoenix, you can check out all of the cool businesses that I highlight here on Phoenix Finds. Hey everybody, it's Lexi Romano with Phoenix Finds. Phoenix Finds. Phoenix Finds. So starting with the 5th most asked question, my family always asks me, is there anything to do out there in Phoenix, or is it just like tumbleweeds and cactus everywhere? Oh my gosh, so that is what Phoenix Finds is all about. We are all about the cool things that there is to do here in Phoenix. There's so much to do. If you love to be outside, there are so many cool hiking trails. There's also amazing lakes. There's just so much beautiful nature surrounding us on all corners here in Phoenix. Honestly, when I first moved here, I wasn't super excited about living in the desert. I miss the beach, I miss the ocean, but I will say Phoenix has some awesome lakes, and there's nothing cooler than being up at like Lake Pleasant all the way up north and seeing this beautiful desert valley surrounding you while you're in the water. There's cacti everywhere. We actually saw donkeys, we saw burros while we were in the water. It is really cool, it's really beautiful, and it's very unique. But other than that, in the city of Phoenix, there are so many cool things to do. There's amazing food, amazing restaurants. I love all the breweries out here because I do love to drink beer. There's amazing wineries. Everything out here is so cool, and that's kind of what Phoenix Finds is all about. So definitely subscribe if you're in Phoenix and you're looking for cool things to do. But even more than that, there's also just awesome people out here. Everyone I've met out here has been super genuine, super cool, super down to earth, and it's really a unique place out here that brings a lot of different kinds of people. There's a lot of people from the East Coast out here. There's a lot of people from the Midwest. There's a lot of Californians who have moved here to Phoenix. So it is really a big melting pot of people. There's a big, diverse group of people who live out here, which is really, really cool. So other than the delicious Mexican food, that's another thing. Whenever my family from the East Coast comes out here, they always want to know the best Mexican food, which we have a lot of great Mexican food. But the people out here are probably my favorite thing about living here, and that's been one of the surprising things about moving here to Phoenix, but there is so much to do. So the 4th most asked question that I get, especially from my family on the East Coast, is, does it ever get cold in Phoenix? So the answer to that is pretty much no. It doesn't really ever get cold here in the Valley of Phoenix. It is December right now, you can tell by my Christmas decorations behind me, and I think the coldest day we've had so far has been in the high 40s, maybe. But the best thing about living here in Phoenix is that if you drive an hour, 2 hours, you can be in Sedona, you can be in Flagstaff, you can be in Payson, all of these beautiful areas that are slightly north of us here in Phoenix that actually do get cold. They get cold, they get snow, they have beautiful pine trees everywhere, and it's really not a far drive. I mean, an hour and a half to Sedona, 2 hours to Flagstaff, and there's so many gorgeous places to go skiing, to go sledding. It's really, really cool up there. So the answer to that question is kind of yes and no. No, not here in Phoenix in the Valley, but yes, because you can drive an hour and be in the snow. So what's better than that? So being that I am originally from Southern California, and then I lived in New York City, a lot of the time my friends and family will ask me, so is it really cheap to live out there? Because of course, California and New York are 2 of the most expensive places. But Here's the thing about Phoenix. When I first moved out here, I was shocked by the prices of living expenses out here. I feel like the food is so much more affordable. Going out to a bar or a restaurant, I think, is way more affordable than in those other places. And the rent is way more affordable. Honestly, when I first moved here from New York City, my rent was cut in half. And I got a bigger apartment, a nicer apartment, and there were no cockroaches. But there might have been some scorpions. But I do think that the prices are starting to go up. As more and more people move here, the more expensive it gets to live here. So my husband and I are still renting. We're in an apartment right now, and we're looking at buying a home here in Phoenix. When I used to look at homes about a year ago, the price ranges were, for what we could afford, it was in between the $250,000, $350,000 range, and we were having luck finding a bunch of different amazing spots, a bunch of beautiful homes right in the downtown area, places a little bit off of the downtown area, but still in Phoenix. Now, the downtown Phoenix area, you can't really find anything that's a home. I would say for under $500,000. Now, I'm not a real estate agent, so I can't tell you exact numbers, but that's what it feels like for someone looking for a home. It feels like the prices have skyrocketed. And that's because so many people are moving here. So when my parents come out from California, they're still shocked by how affordable the food is, how cheap it is to go to a bar or a restaurant, how cheap the cocktails are. But I will say that rent and home prices seem to be going up. The second most asked question that I get from my family, mostly my family on the East Coast, but sometimes my friends and family in California will ask me this as well. People ask things like, are there cacti everywhere? No, there really aren't. I feel like I see more palm trees than cactus. Now, I guess that depends on where you are. If you're hiking in the Saguaro Desert, then yes, you're gonna see a lot of cacti. If you're driving down certain streets in Mesa or Chandler, I do feel like there's more cacti over in that area and kind of the older towns, but not as many as you would think. However, something that I didn't expect moving here is how beautiful the flowers from the cacti are. Oh my gosh, I mean, the saguaro are huge and statuesque and gorgeous, and the prickly pear are so cool and unique, and they have these gorgeous flowers that spring out of them. So I wasn't a huge fan of the aesthetic of cacti. However, when I moved here, I will say I've now kind of become a fan because they are all unique and all different and really cool and beautiful. So no, they're not like everywhere. You don't like turn a corner and get pricked by a cactus, but you can find them, and they are really beautiful and a very signature Arizona thing. And of course, the number one question that I always get asked from my family on the East Coast and on the West Coast, is it really that hot? The answer to that is yes, it is so hot here. Oh my goodness, I think this past summer, we had over 150 days that were over 110 degrees. We like broke records and stuff. It's nuts. It is so hot out here, but it's not that hot all year round. So the months that are really, really hot, I would say May, June, July, August. It starts to cool down a little bit in September, and then October is like, oh my gosh, we have a day under 100 degrees. This is amazing. Like, it's 98, but this is beautiful. Let's go for a walk. So yes, it is pretty miserable, but it's only miserable for about 4 months out of the year. The rest of the year is actually really beautiful. So the give and take of it being that hot, yeah, you kind of suffer through it for those 4 months, but the rest of the year is so beautiful that it kind of makes it worth it. Plus, you know what I'm gonna say. It's a dry heat. Yeah, it is a dry heat, that's true. So I personally have lived in New York City and dealt with really disgusting, muggy humidity when you're in the subway, and it sucks and it's disgusting and you feel like you're gonna pass out. But a dry heat at 122 degrees is still 122 degrees. So yeah, it's a dry heat. I guess it makes it a little better, but it's still pretty hot. So, but like I said, it's just those 4 months out of the year. It's really not that bad. So for me, moving here, originally being from Southern California, then living in New York City, and now moving here to Phoenix, it's pretty sweet, I must say. It's a pretty good place to land. So if you're thinking about moving here to Phoenix, give it a shot, check it out. So those were my answers to the 5 most asked questions that I get asked from my family in New York and my family in California. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.